Good afternoon. Welcome to an IT press meet for quarter three results announcement. Thank you all for joining. Making the announcement with us today, we have Vijay Thadani, Vice Chairman, Managing Director, NIIT Limited. And we have Mr. P. Rajendran, Joint Managing Director, NIIT Limited. And of course, making the key highlight announcements, we have with us our CEO, Sapnesh Lala. I would request Vijay to set the opening remarks and start the discussion, please.
Thank you very much for joining us for this press meet and really appreciate your presence. We are here to discuss the third quarter ending December 2020, the results, the financial results of that, as well as general highlights. I have with me Mr. P. Rajendran, who's the Joint Managing Director, and Sapnesh Lala, who is the CEO of NIIT Limited. Last quarter, like the previous few quarters, has been a quarter of great change. And I think the efforts that NIIT has made to take advantage of the changed circumstances is what perhaps will be visible in the results that Sapnesh will share with you. So without further ado, I would like to pass on to Sapnesh to make his comments, and after which we'll open it for questions.
Thank you, Vijay, and thanks everyone for joining. I'm pleased to announce that, like Vijay pointed out, this quarter has been an uplifting quarter for us. This quarter showed a strong recovery by NIIT because of its agile and decisive actions combined with robust execution. The profit after tax grew 53% year on year and is at 41.5 crores. The net revenues were at 253.4 crores, up 16% quarter on quarter and 4% year on year. The EBITDA was up 64% year on year at 47.1 crores, and the EBITDA margin was at 18.6%. The corporate learning group led the growth and grew by 12% on a quarter-on-quarter basis and 15% year-on-year. They added 3 new MTS customers and renewed their contracts with another 4. The corporate learning group's revenue visibility now stands at 270 million. So overall, a strong quarter shows that we have strengthening recovery in place based on the agile and decisive actions and robust execution that the company did. Thank you.
Thank you, Sapnesh. Over to you, Raju, if you would like to make any comments. Mr. P. Rajendra.
Yeah, so I don't have to add any comments, but just to say that it's commendable that our team was able to deliver this kind of performance with all things against us, as in customers having their own challenges in the United States, which is a major market for us, and everything happening online. Today, we don't have staff coming to the offices. So under all those circumstances, this was an excellent performance which we have pulled out, and there is a strong buildup of the funnel for the future. So I just want to conclude with that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rajendran, for your comments. And Vijay, over to you for any questions that we have. So we have Stuti from PTI in case she has any questions.
Okay. Thank you, Raju and Sapnesh, for giving us giving brief. I think we do have time for a couple of questions. So, Stuti, would you like to would you have some questions for us?
Yes, sir. I do want to ask a few questions. So to start off with, if you could give some color as to what has driven this growth in revenue and profits. What has been the key Second, this is a strong recovery. What is the overall sense in the industry now? Is the worst behind us? What could we see in the coming quarters?
Okay, is Sapnesh got logged out, Pratik?
Yes, Sapnesh had to take a call. So Vijay, we will have the Q&A with you.
Okay, that's fine. So, so first of all, Stuti, thank you very much for your questions. Let me first explain why do we stand wherever we stand. So first of all, if you look at last 3 quarters, obviously in the first quarter it was like lightning struck, and we were all grappling to figure out what should be done, getting used to the new way of working from home. But as Sapnesh pointed out, agile and decisive actions, I think, helped a lot. Second, I think we immediately went on our customer's side and said, if we are hurting, so they must be hurting even more. So what could we do to help them? And I think our customers really appreciated us. This is also visible in the renewals we have got from our MTS customers, who, despite difficult times, have renewed and put renewed faith in NIIT. While their own businesses were down, and to that extent, I think their training spends were lower. But I think the real thing which kind of differentiated this team was the fact that the efforts of the last 6 quarters with new wins are the ones which have now contributed a great deal in making this growth happen. Second, of course, cost conservation and managing the product mix have been the other elements which have contributed to this performance. I must say, Skills and Careers, which is also a business in transformation, though at a lag, because of its changeover from a fully face-to-face model to a fully digital model, which it adopted very, very quickly, I think came in very handy. I think the last thing which I would like to say is the tenacity which NIITians, who are our people, and Raju pointed to that, the tenacity which they showed and the way they reacted to the new way of working and came along, I think is again something that I would like to mention. Of course, not to forget the pedagogy and the deep experience that we have in working with digital technologies over the last 4 decades. So I think all these contributed. Going forward, I think based on the momentum that we had, we do see a similar kind of a thing happening in Q4, even though our Q4 is not our best quarter. To that extent, there could be Q3 is typically the best quarter in this new setting. But despite that, I think we will see an improvement in year-on-year growth, and I think that is something that we can look forward to in the coming quarter, and obviously with appropriate margins, since we are also investing in digital technology at a faster pace.
Okay, so what are you hearing from the clients in terms of, 2021 has just started, how much are they looking at spending on training? How does it compare to what we saw in 2020 and probably 2029? Nobody wants to even look at 2020 anymore.
Yeah, so let me say that in right now, the tailwind which is blowing very hard and the most important focus on everybody's mind is how do we engage and implement digital transformation in their organizations. So this, depending on the level of maturity at which the organization was in adopting digital technologies, they are going full swing. And to that extent, I think a lot of work which is involved in reskilling and getting the organizations ready is one of the benefits that will come in. Having said that, their businesses at a base level are affected, and training is a discretionary spend. So only mission critical training will receive attention, which is digital, which we obviously are very good at. But what will happen is the uncertainty of the rest of the year There were many uncertainties at the beginning of the year. Many of those things have got sorted out. The political landscape globally, etc., all those things are settling down. But I think the uncertainty of the economic uncertainty in future coming out of the new bouts of COVID that Europe and US are going through, and UK are going through, I think are definitely something to watch for. So people are cautious, and I think we'll have to see our wins that we have, how much of the momentum they can catch. But definitely in the next quarter, I think we will get the benefit of this tailwind that we have.
Okay, and just one final question. Mr. Rajendran mentioned that people continue to work from homes. So, what is the work from home strategy? How long is that going to continue? And people are talking about a hybrid strategy. So, how does it look for NIIT?
Well, what I must say is our organization has responded extremely well to work from home, and I can tell you that every organization has similar experience, but I would say ours is a shade better. And the reason for that is I think some of the preemptive efforts or proactive efforts which the team took, the leadership team took to make sure that people workplaces at home or home offices get well equipped. So whether technology was required or whatever else was required, I think they were provided with that. Having said that, at this point of time, till end of March, officially, we are all work from home, and only on a very strong need to be in office basis do we land up in office, and a very few people, that too at any point of time, depending on what the matter is. However, this situation needs to be watched on a quarterly basis. I think definitely hybrid is the way of the future. The killer app in this is how much is digital and how much is work from home and how much is work from office. That mix will have to kind of emerge depending on the business situation. But right now our situation is fairly comfortable.
No, I just want to add, Shruti, that we have even globally a lot of training programs which used to happen, which was face-to-face in very specific areas, healthcare, oil sector, etc., etc. So there are few hundred of our trainers who are on call, who go to the client's premises for doing the training. Now, that part is no longer there. Some part continues to happen online. So I would think that anything which is customer needed coming to work physically would be the first level of criteria for staff to come in to workplace, wherever the workplace is, in the client site or inside the office. It is only the second phase where we will have other people coming in, and that is the time when we'll start balancing. See, right now we are almost close for the last 1 year. And now we have to start looking at how do people interact with each other, the social stuff. People have been talking about all that. Coming to office has got many other points than just coming and doing work. So that's an area which our people are examining, and it's just possible that locally we may have hubs where people will get together, etc., etc. But that's in the future. We have time for that.
Okay, thank you. Are there any more questions? Okay, so with that, we'll bring the press meet to an end. Thank you for coming and participating and sharing your queries with us, questions with us. In case there are any more, we'll be happy to take them offline. You can reach us on email and phone as well. Thank you and have a good day.
Stuti, thank you very much.
Thank you, Shruti. Thank you, everybody.
Bye.